A notification on my phone shattered my world. By sunrise, I was no longer the woman who trusted blindly. I was the one who would make them pay. At 3:25 a.m., a soft blue glow from my phone screen lit up the bedroom ceiling, casting jagged shadows that mirrored the chaos about to erupt in my life. My heart pounded as I grabbed the phone, squinting at the screen. A message from American Express. Transaction successful. 2 business class tickets, New York to Paris, France. Departure next Friday. Total, 7,920. 2 tickets. Not 1. Not 3. 2. My breath caught and a cold dread coiled in my chest. I lay alone in the king-size bed Michael and I had bought 6 years ago in a room he barely visited anymore. With trembling fingers, I opened the transaction details. My throat tightened, my vision blurred, and I nearly dropped the phone. Passengers, Michael Reynolds and Sophia Bennett. Sophia Bennett. The name hit me like a slap I never saw coming. She was Michael's PR consultant, the woman who, just weeks ago, sat at my dining table, sipping my Pinot Noir. Her smile too bright, her eyes lingering on my husband while I played the oblivious hostess. I bolted upright, sleepiness gone, replaced by a storm of pain, humiliation, and icy clarity. I wrapped a blanket around myself, as if it could shield me from the truth, and padded barefoot downstairs. The cold hardwood floor bit at my soles, each step echoing the reality I could no longer ignore. The kitchen was empty, save for the relentless ticking of the wall clock counting the seconds of a night I'd never forget. 11 years ago, Michael proposed to me in Paris, on the Pont-Neuf Bridge, under the glow of streetlights, promising forever. Now he was taking her there, to the same city, the same hotel, the same dreams he'd once shared with me. I opened my laptop, hands shaking, and logged into our joint bank account. The evidence was undeniable. Plane tickets, a 5-star hotel overlooking the Seine, dinner reservations at a Michelin-starred restaurant, all booked under Michael Reynolds and Sophia Bennett. This wasn't a mistake. Every detail was meticulously planned, a betrayal crafted with precision. Last night, he'd kissed my cheek, murmuring, "Long day tomorrow, Emma. Don't wait up." I'd smiled, ignoring the hollowness in his voice. Now I saw it for what it was, a lie. I didn't cry. The tears had dried up years ago, after his late-night meetings and urgent work trips that never added up. Instead, I opened my phone's notes app and typed, May 3rd, Michael and Sophia, Paris. Transaction confirmed. I saved it, my first piece of evidence. Standing by the kitchen window, clutching a glass of ice-cold water, I stared into the dark backyard. The life I'd built, our home, our daughter, our shared dreams, felt like a house of cards collapsing. But I wasn't the woman who'd crumble. Not anymore. I wasn't going to confront him yet. I wasn't going to scream or beg. I was going to act, strategically, silently, and with a fire he'd never seen coming. By 4:05 a.m., I sat in the living room, the glow of a single lamp illuminating our wedding photos on the wall. The woman in those pictures, beaming with trust, was a stranger now. I opened my browser and navigated to Delta's website. My fingers moved with purpose. Paris, March 17th, seat 4C, right next to 4B, Michael Reynolds, and 4A, Sophia Bennett. A confrontation was coming, but not the kind they'd expect. I wasn't planning a scene. I'd let them unravel themselves, exposed by their own secrets in a place they thought was theirs. Before dawn, I took 3 decisive steps. First, at 9:00 a.m., I visited the bank, claiming I needed funds for a personal project. I withdrew $18,000 from our joint account, enough to secure my independence without raising red flags. I opened a new account in my name, untethered from Michael. Second, I booked a consultation with Lauren Mitchell, a college friend now practicing family law in Charlotte. Over the phone, I was blunt. I need guidance on divorce, asset division, and potential financial misconduct. Lauren's voice was steady. Tuesday, 2 p.m. Bring everything you have. Third, I texted my sister Claire, an IT manager for a hotel chain. Can you get me a discreet HD pen camera? Her reply was instant. On it. That evening, when Michael came home, I played my part. I wore my apron, stirred the pot of chili simmering on the stove, and offered a faint smile as he kissed my forehead, rambling about his exhausting board meeting. I nodded, my heart hollow, my mind racing with images of Paris. Him and Sophia strolling down the Champs-Élysées, where he'd once promised to love me forever. I thought of her in the hotel suite we'd shared on our honeymoon, laughing in a bed that should have been mine. And I thought of myself, in the black dress he used to love, sitting in seat 4C, a silent storm ready to strike. The next day, I met Lauren at her sleek downtown office. I handed her a folder stuffed with bank statements, screenshots, and company invoices. She scanned them, her expression tightening when she reached the business accounts. Emma, there's a $3,000 transfer to an account labeled Consulting Services. It's not tied to any payroll or vendor. I slid another document across her desk. Michael's internal financial reports, with discrepancies I'd uncovered late at night. Numbers didn't add up. Client invoices were doctored. Lauren's eyes narrowed. This isn't just infidelity. This could be fraud, maybe even money laundering. We'll draft a divorce petition and a financial misconduct claim. But Emma, if you want to stay discreet, you need to move fast. I smiled, a spark of defiance igniting. I'm already ahead. I'm meeting them on that plane. The pen camera arrived that night. I tested it in my office, a tiny room Michael mocked as my craft nook. The blue light blinked, recording crystal clear video and audio. I slipped it into my handbag, where it would stay until the flight. I didn't know what I'd capture, but I knew it would be undeniable. Monday morning, I sat in my office, rain tapping the window, the scent of coffee grounding me. I opened Michael's old laptop, one he'd forgotten after a trip last year. That's when I'd first suspected something. His late nights, vague excuses, the way he avoided talking about our daughter, Lily. I'd installed email tracking software, telling myself it was to protect our finances. Now I opened the hidden inbox. My pulse raced as hundreds of emails loaded. Sophia, Paris itinerary confirmed. I miss you already. My stomach churned. This wasn't a fling. It had been going on for 20 months. A parallel life Michael had built while holding me at night, pretending everything was fine. Then I found it. A wire transfer confirmation. $3,500 from our company to an account labeled Bennett Media Solutions. Sophia didn't own a media company. It was a shell account. More emails revealed escalating payments. $500, then $2,000, then a staggering $30,000 to an offshore bank. This wasn't just betrayal. It was theft from the business I'd co-founded with Michael when we were scraping by in a tiny apartment. I needed an ally. I called Ethan Carter, our company's head accountant and a friend since our startup days. We met at a quiet diner in Cary. I handed him a USB drive. Look at these transfers and emails. Tell me I'm not crazy. Ethan's face darkened as he scrolled through the data. After 15 minutes, he leaned back, voice low. Emma, this is serious. These transfers violate multiple regulations. It's fraud, plain and simple. I gripped my coffee mug, the warmth steadying me. If I don't act, I'll go down with him. Ethan nodded. I'll back you up. That evening, I called Jessica, a college friend now working as a financial crimes investigator in Raleigh. Remember when you said to call if I needed to dig into Michael's accounts? I said, forcing a laugh. Her tone shifted. Emma, what's going on? I told her everything. Every email, every transfer, every lie. She listened, then said, This is textbook fraud. I can help, but you need ironclad evidence. I replied, I'm getting it. Friday morning, I arrived at JFK Airport 3 hours early. The sky was a bleak gray, wind cutting through my coat, but my resolve was unshakable. My handbag held everything. Divorce papers, financial evidence, Michael's board resignation letter, and a legal summary from Lauren detailing his potential consequences. I boarded through the business class line, took seat 4C, and clipped the pen camera inside my coat pocket. A flight attendant offered a drink. Champagne, I said, smiling. I'm celebrating a fresh start. The bubbles stung my tongue, a sharp contrast to the wine Michael and I used to share. Now, I was in control. 10 minutes before the cabin doors closed, they boarded. Michael, in a navy blazer and pressed slacks, strode with his usual arrogance. Sophia, in a sleek emerald dress, clung to his arm, her designer bag swinging. I sipped my champagne, half hiding my face. My heart pounded, but my hands were steady. They reached row 4. Michael glanced at the seat numbers, then met my eyes. He froze, his face paling as if he'd seen a ghost. Sophia, oblivious, smiled until she followed his gaze. Her expression faltered. "Hello, Michael," I said, voice low and sharp. He opened his mouth, but no words came. Sophia's eyes darted between us. "What the hell is this?" she snapped, yanking her arm free. I held up my boarding pass. "Seat 4C. Funny how fate works, isn't it?" The flight attendant urged them to sit. With no choice, they sank into their seats, Sophia by the window, Michael trapped in the middle, inches from me. I pulled the blue envelope from my bag and set it on his lap. "Open it. We've got 7 hours, plenty of time to read." Michael stared at the envelope, then at me, searching for a way out. "Emma, what is this?" His voice cracked, a mix of fear and desperation. Sophia leaned forward, her voice venomous. "Who do you think you are? What's in that envelope?" I turned to her, calm but cutting. "You don't know, do you? He didn't just betray me. He lied to you, too. That money for your little Paris getaway? Stolen from our company. Illegal. Traceable." Sophia's face drained of color. She recoiled from Michael. "Is she serious? Michael, tell me she's lying." He stammered. "Emma, you can't prove that." I opened my phone, showing 3 draft emails set to auto-send. One to the board, one to his family, one to Lily. "I don't need to prove it yet. Sign the papers or everyone finds out tomorrow." The envelope held everything. Divorce papers, asset division terms, his resignation letter, and a financial report verified by Ethan. "Check your pocket," I added. "There's a pen. It records, by the way." Michael's hands shook as he reached for it. Sophia's voice rose, trembling with rage. "You used me to cover your tracks? You said this was our trip." Michael snapped back. "Sophia, calm down." "I didn't." She cut him off, tears in her eyes. "Don't tell me to calm down. You dragged me into your mess." I leaned back, letting their argument unfold. The flight attendant approached, and I smiled. "Could you bring the passenger in seat 6D? She's a notary. We have an appointment." Michael's face crumpled. "Emma, please. I know I screwed up, but don't do this. We can fix it." I met his gaze, unyielding. "Fix it? You stole from our company. You stole from me. You don't get to beg now." Sophia turned to me, her voice softer, almost broken. "I didn't know about the money. I thought he loved me." I felt a pang of pity, but it didn't soften me. He didn't love either of us. He loved control. The notary, a poised woman in a gray suit, arrived with her logbook. I laid out the documents: divorce agreement, asset division, resignation letter, and Lily's trust fund verification. Michael stared at them, his empire in ruins. "If you don't sign," I said, "this goes public." He took the pen, his hands trembling, and signed, each stroke a surrender. The notary stamped each page, her movements precise. When she finished, I zipped the documents into a waterproof case. "You can keep the trip," I said to Michael. "I'm flying home tomorrow." To Sophia, I added, "Enjoy Paris if you can stomach it." Michael's voice broke. "Emma, I loved you. I swear I did." I didn't answer. Those words were meaningless now, drowned out by 20 months of lies. Sophia plugged in her earbuds, shutting him out. I leaned back, gazing at the sapphire sky through the window. The plane hummed, carrying me toward freedom. We landed in Paris at 9:30 a.m. I exited first, my handbag heavy with signed documents. Michael and Sophia trailed behind, silent and separate. I took a taxi to a modest hotel near the airport, scanned the documents, and emailed them to Lauren. My new account confirmed the asset transfer. The case was closed. The next morning, I flew home. According to Lauren, Sophia left Michael at the airport, spitting. "I'm done with your lies." She caught a flight back to New York that night. Michael returned days later, only to face the board's demand for his resignation. An audit exposed his misconduct, and his career crumbled, not with a bang, but with a quiet, inevitable fade. 3 months later, Michael moved to Nevada, working for a friend's small bookkeeping firm. From leading a company of 100 employees, he now processes invoices in a dusty office. I retained 45% of the company, appointing Ethan as CFO. The profits support me and Lily. I sold our Charlotte house, a mausoleum of memories, and moved to Wilmington, renting a cozy apartment with a view of the ocean. Mornings are quiet now, just me, coffee, and the sound of waves. Then, one day, Lily arrived. She stood at my door, holding a bag from our favorite bakery, her eyes soft but resolute. "I saw Dad's computer last week," she said, handing me a USB drive. "I know everything." My heart clenched. "I was angry at you for staying silent," she continued. "But now I see why. You were protecting me." We sat together, no words needed, just the warmth of her hand in mine. That night, I started a new project, a financial recovery program for women post-divorce, called Reclaim Your Worth. It wasn't about profit. It was about giving others the map I'd forged through pain. A year later, I'm in Paris again, at a cafe by the Seine. The air carries the scent of croissants and the sound of an accordion drifting from the street. I'm sketching notes for my next Reclaim Your Worth workshop. The program, launched last November in a small Wilmington office, has grown beyond my expectations. Women email me daily, their stories echoing mine, silenced, betrayed, but ready to rise. Lily joins me, carrying white roses and a paint-splattered backpack. She's studying sociology at the Sorbonne, dreaming of advocating for single mothers. "What's the new workshop about, Mom?" she asks. I show her my notebook's first line. "We don't need revenge to heal. We need to step into our own power." She nods. "That's you." Lily's right. I didn't need vengeance. I needed this. Sitting in a city that once broke me, now remade as mine. My victory wasn't in the divorce papers or the company shares. It was in Lily's trust, in the women I'm helping, in the quiet exhale of knowing I'm enough. Paris sparkles as night falls, and I walk with my daughter, no longer chasing someone else's promises. I'm free. What do you think of Emma's journey? Would you have faced betrayal the same way? Share your thoughts below and follow for more stories of strength and second chances. Rate this tale from 1 to 10. Your feedback fuels the next epic chapter.